Honestly, it happened out of my anger. I met John Miller at a blessed opportunity with some of my frat brothers when I first moved back to Seattle area. My wife is a resident Seattleite. And meeting John Miller was like meeting a brother. I didn't know him, but when we met, we connected immediately. And my heart is beating because I live with this reality as many black men and black women do. It's not many times are we given an opportunity to help educate, unfortunately having to live through it in a constant reality. And so when John asked me to do it, I responded aptly with yes. Because for 20 years I've been creating social justice works of art that speak to an audience that I don't never get to see. Because as an artist, you put it up on the wall, it remains silent, and you never know who it impacts. As an educator, I teach, we talk to students, we talk to anybody. But seldomly is it an opportunity to talk to the employment world where the messaging gets utilized in a different way. So when I say I created this out of anger, it was an honest response because John asked me to produce it, and then he gave me all of the letters. And I read each one of them, and I connected with each one of them, and I got angry with each one of them, and I cried inside with each one of them because I've lived the life of each one of them. And I responded to John to say, I don't know if I can create it. I don't know if I can create the piece for you, bro, honestly, because I'm mad. And it's yet another example of what we have to live through. And it was his passion and his profession and his concern of what he's been helping to manage while living in Washington to encourage me to say, actually use that if you can, bro, and just do it. And so I began to produce this piece. And it was very difficult because I'm not often angry while producing something I believe God gave me as a gift and a pleasure, a joy of sharing the spirit of what he allowed me to be as an artist. I'm not an angry artist, although I am often an angry black man living in this world. Having now children, a wife, a legacy to create, I'm constantly infuriated with what we have to contend with as black people. It doesn't stop the racism, unfortunately it doesn't. Until, what I believe, white people, regardless of what side you choose to stand on, help to create the change that we have to contend and experience. So I created this piece titled Red, White, and Blue, Death, Lies, and Brutes, The Told, Some Told, Untold Stories. Because it's necessary to be able to understand that these realities are often told. These realities are often untold. This is the told story of how we have to contend while being in this country. So this particular piece utilizes a perspective while in the state of Washington, as this is monumental for King County, to recognize its impact of racism and oppressive actions and supremacy that is filtered through the leadership of employment, the leadership of academia, the leadership of your communities. It exists. The crazy, unfortunate ignorance of this malign perspective is that white Americans who uphold this historical American racist mentality are lynching their own Washingtonians. They don't even realize that the hatred that they're bestowing upon people of color, for whatever reasons they choose to do, because it is a bias or it is an unbiased reality, it is because they fall to their own failed realities. And as they lynch by preventing employment opportunities or by giving gifts of chicken bones or laughing at people of color, all of the stories that we heard are part of their perspective that they think it's okay. Until they realize that they're lynching themselves. Until they start to realize that there was a culture in this country from 1877 to 1950, that there was a lynching in this country every year of a person of color, and that there were postcards created to sell, and that there were children that would watch this. And as I look upon the audience and I see elder people, respectfully, my father's age, my grandfather's age, that would watch the lynching of a person of color, that would watch the burning of a person of color, that would watch the castration of a black man, that would watch the mutilation of a black woman, all for entertainment. It is a sick, sick world to know that that could happen amongst humans. It's more concern for killing a dog than it was a human. And I was created by the unfortunate individuals who promoted the red, white, and blue to be the savior of this country. And now we are, as a country and as a place, a county, starting to learn to work to change it. Because as I have created this image of the Washington being lynched by the history of the country that made him the president, the rattling reality of his neck peers only at the smoke that comes from the fire. Many times like looking at the chicken bone and thinking, I'm sorry, but not thinking about the sickness that allowed you to think that stinging the chicken bone was okay. We have to stop the fire and the burning and the lynching altogether, because without it, you're just going to create the cycle, which is why the Washington flag, which is now becoming the American flag, is the cyclical process of dysfunction that needs to be eradicated. So it wasn't my concern about creating a picture of black anger towards white people. It was about recognizing the sickness of this issue of oppression, of domination, or white domination, white supremacy, that has to be removed. And it is in need of everyone's help, but specifically white people. You have to stand up, because it is the people that are of your history that created this problem of white supremacy and white domination that produces the vile impact of people that look like me and them and you.
Thank you so much.